well as Kwite's face, which is a huge deal. Keep in mind, Kwite is a This YouTuber is getting canceled right now. Drop Kwite is trending on Twitter, and these are some really serious allegations. Now, if you're a YouTuber, there's probably a 50% chance you're a horrible person. Honestly, I don't make the rules, I just look at the statistics. If I come out tomorrow as someone who inhales their own farts, please don't be surprised. I am a YouTuber after all. Okay, jokes aside, this is a really serious topic. Basically, somebody named Vriska on Twitter came out with these really serious allegations against a YouTuber named Kwite. You guys probably know him, considering he's a really popular commentary channel. Really not looking good for us, man. This person came out with a bunch of horrible accusations, including the non-consensual sleeping with other person, the R word, okay? Now, this is a little different from every other situation we've come across before where YouTubers are being exposed, because usually it's like this anonymous Twitter account from 16 years ago or something saying that this YouTuber harassed me in this random time. I'm anonymous, so I'm not going to provide any proof or anything. I'm just going to say this YouTuber is a horrible person. But this person actually shows their own face as well as Kwite's face, which is a huge deal. Keep in mind, Kwite is a pretty big YouTuber whose identity is pretty much anonymous. Every single video you watch, he'll wear like this mask and a complete hoodie from head to toe. So basically covering every single aspect of his body. So he really doesn't want people to know who he is. Now, as someone who did that before as well, behind like gameplay videos or when I did a mask reveal, it is incredibly uncomfortable to appear in videos like that. So the fact that he was covering from head to toe each time, meaning that he really wanted to protect his identity. So now it's just kind of out there. So let's first look at the original tweet, look at the twit longer, look at the accusations, then look at the responses of people on Twitter, and then look at the screenshots that supposedly back up some of the allegations. Okay, so here we got Vriska's _1 defender saying, "I refuse to be silent any longer. Read here, twit longer." And it's got 1.6 million views, lots of impressions, everything. Drop Kwite is trending. His comment section is filled with R word, R word, R word, R word. I used to love you, but now you're an R word. So it's a horrible situation. This is worse than the Cyrus allegation. Hello, I never felt I could come out about this, and I've struggled with this for years before writing this, and I doubt it'll be anything close of years after I write this and this will ever be released. But in the case that you are reading this, I have to come out and lay it what has happened to me. I was R-worded by a man known as the YouTuber Kwite in February of 2018 and had been an extremely toxic friendship, on and off relationship with him since 2017. To start in the beginning, I had found Kwite's channel when it had less than 500 subscribers and as a teenager wanting to make art for him. Because he didn't use his face in his videos, I thought he would have an easier time if I drew him and recommended he wore sunglasses and a face mask instead of manually keying his face out with a black box. There, I essentially came up with the Sona for him and drew various talk sprites for him for free that he only ever used maybe once. We were around the same age and slowly began talking and bonding over shared mental health issues. At this time, I was undiagnosed with autism and BPD, which I have diagnoses of now, and thus was unaware how these could affect me in the coming relationship we had, and how he would most likely, without knowing, take advantage of me. Okay, so this person actually created the whole Kwite persona with the mask. At first, we were extremely close in ways that helped the both of us. He shared bits of his past, and I shared mine. However, slowly my status as an artist would land me in more YouTuber circles than his would, and he would slowly try to encourage me to let him join said spaces. As a friend, I of course wanted him to include me in as many as I could, but as I did, he made various connections outside of me and the relationship grew transactional. While I won't say I was the most stable person at the time, I was not actively unkind. I cannot say the same for him. When my abandoned issues would arise, he would leave me ignored, and then when I was having the worst of my time, he would swoop in to save me and keep me under his thumb. He would yell at me or act passive-aggressive towards me when being my friend was inconvenient, but loved when it was just us or he needed something from me. He would use my memory issues against me to gaslight me about things he said, and would keep most of the conversations he had on calls or on Skype because the messages delete after a set amount of time. He would actively talk about his new friends to me, and he wanted to do something for him, and eventually take up a great amount of my time. So there's a lot of backstory to this, and the story has been corroborated by a bunch of other people, and the pictures as well. A bunch of people who kind of know him IRL follow that. It seems to be kind of a true thing. I don't know about the story entirely, but the fact that the images of Kwite seemed to be quite real. Eventually, we met in real life a few times. I had transphobic parents, so I told him my dead name to use only when my parents were talking to him. But after knowing this information, he would use it as a way to belittle me. The first meeting was fine, but he had a rule that I wasn't allowed to take any pictures of him, but he was allowed to take pictures of me. After promising and begging to take a few pictures that wouldn't and still haven't been posted for memories, he let me take a few before he left. The second meeting, however, was different. We'd planned to meet up while he was on vacation in my city, and then I would pick up in my car and we'd both go to a trampoline park and go to see Black Panther. This is where the worst of his behavior occurred. At this time, we were both on and off flirting and had discussed that if we were both single at this time, we would take each other's thing. However, once he had come on to me in the back of the seat of my car, I started to get cold feet. He, however, did not want to take no for an answer. In the back seat of my own car, he R-worded me. All the while, I was telling him how it hurt and how I didn't want to do this anymore. He kept telling me this is what he wanted as he went, but soon got bored of it and got out. I sat in the car by myself for a bit before going to join him in the movie we had planned to see together. And to make up, he had me buy him popcorn. I put the event out of my mind as just two virgins being bad at frick and hung out with him for the rest of the day, as he was still one of my closest friends. I have a video of him to prove we were together at that time that I was only able to post for myself after begging him to take pictures with me because we were friends. Okay, this is starting to sound absolutely horrible. A few months later, once he has gained quite a few subscribers and larger YouTube friends, did he start ghosting me more and more often, all while I was having a BPD episode. It got to the point where he called me and cut me off, and in our fight called me a thing who thinks she's a boy and will never be. This extremely hurt me and caused me to spiral more. I almost needed to be institutionalized, but thankfully for my social support system, I wasn't. Months passed, and when I tried to come out about the thing I suffered, I received harassment from his fans. I received calls to my house telling me to neck, okay? Furthering my poor mental health. Eventually, however, it subsided, and through a turn of events, I was able to set up a call to reconcile with him. In this call, he tried to gaslight me further, claiming that I'd let him on, or worse, assaulted him instead in front of a mediator who thankfully knew better than to believe him. In this call, he screamed at me, threw things, and broke things, and continued to gaslight me. However, thanks to Danny, Lord Bung, he calmed down and apologized for some of his behavior. However, I don't believe he was sincere. I truly am sorry I stayed silent with this issue for years, but I cannot keep silent. I've been scared for myself and how the public will treat me, but I'm too scared that I'm not the only victim to keep silent anymore. Anyone who may have been victimized is encouraged to DM me. Hope you're doing okay. I hope that many of you will believe me. I don't care anymore. For those of you, thank you for your ear. Hope you stay safe. I was R-worded by Kwite, emotionally dead name called slurs, and gaslit into silence for 6 years. Okay, not gonna lie, this is some incredibly serious stuff. So Drop Kwite is trending, and apparently there's a lot of talk going on in Kwite's Discord as well. I'm currently watching Kwite's mods shut down each channel one by one at a time. Each time someone tries to talk about what's happening with Kwite, even messages saying they will DM the info to others. Obviously, I guess some of the fans don't want the story to go viral or anything, but too late for that. His mods are silencing us. We are not silencing you guys. We understand your frustration. However, discussing it here is prohibited since it's a sensitive topic. We try to keep things lighthearted here. I don't think it applies once the person who owns the server a situation like that arises. I don't think the Discord's rules applies anymore, bro. Okay, so let's take a look at the screenshots real quick as they've provided for evidence. We got some Discord messages from 2018. Required also, what are your family doing while we hang out? Because if they are out, hotel room empty. Kwite responds, we'll see. On sheets, no good, bro. So I can confirm this is Kwite. I mean, I do have contacts with him, commentary YouTuber, but so Kwite says the looks part, us meeting up is fine. Who can I tell we're dating to? If you trust them to keep it a secret, I trust your judgment. Probably keep it to people I know as well, though, unless you're really close to them, then I get it. Ooh, changing it or something, and we got some Kwite art over here. Is this a good neutral for a mask guy? Yeah. Okay, beyond this point, if I scroll down further, we got pictures of two people. One is the person in the twit longer, and the other person is Kwite, and they seem pretty close. They are kind of like hugging. One of them is lying on the other's shoulders, presumably the Twitter person lying on Kwite's shoulders. I don't want to show it just in case, don't want to get in trouble. There's obviously the sources will be provided. You can go check it out yourself. It's on Twitter. It's trending. It's literally everywhere. Now here we are on Kwite's latest YouTube video, and the comment section is absolutely flooded with a million things of saying, you know what you did was wrong. I hate you. You're one of my favorite content creators. sentences, and I'm not going to scroll anymore because there's about 5 million R words in there, which I don't want to censor. So yeah, you can go take a look yourself. Anyways, please wait for the other person's response before jumping to any conclusions. Click this video. Bye.